Hello there. Welcome to episode of benchmarking tool from Monster Hunter Wilds. At time of recording, I think the tool itself launched yesterday or something like that, and it's still on version 1.00. Just a few quick notes. It takes a lot for the shader compilation there. I think around 10 minutes or so. In my case, and what else? And it doesn't save the settings here. So when you have the options, every time you start the tool itself, it always defaults to, I don't know, the default settings when the first time you do it, which is basically asking if you want to enable frame generation, the English and the text, what kind of language you want, and of course the settings, the graphic settings just default here. In my case, they default to ultra settings with FSR on and quality mode. I don't like frame generation, regardless of NVIDIA or even Intel. I think it has its own fake frame stuff there, or even AMFM. But yeah, I'm going to do some like a couple of benchmarks. I will not going to go through all the benchmark itself. In edit, I will cut off here and there for the main, probably just showcasing the main drops or highs of in terms of frame rates and the quality that you might experience on the game itself. The benchmark itself doesn't have combat itself with monsters. You go through around navigation through the areas and the such, but you don't combat it. You don't have any scenery where you combat the monsters themselves. Which I think they could try and put something there, but I think the tool itself does a pretty good job of at least showcasing the more intensive areas where the PC might suffer a little bit there. I think it will show. I have the Afterburner thing, the Riva Tuner stuff there. Usually I don't use this very much. It's just for me to try to look any kind of micro starters or something like that. At this moment in time, it's not a fine line, mainly because of the overhead in terms of the recording software. It does this a little bit intermittent, but I don't notice, at least on the videos and on the gameplay itself. So I think it's more than passable. But yeah, let's start the benchmark. I will try to keep my mouth shut while we do this.
As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then we can get started.
This is gonna be great!
You bet.
Yeah.
I hope we find them soon.
And just a quick note, even if you want to put up some frame generation, I think it's achievable by the fact that usually I think the average on this run will be around 60-ish. 65 or so, something like that. It's a good base frame rate for you to activate frame generation. But this is the lighter parts here, this part of the cutscene stuff.
Exceptionally agitated. Could they be chasing something?
It's a person!
That's all right.
Can you reach it?
I have to try.
I'm coming too!
Okay, here it's where it usually tanks a little bit more. Getting out of this area, I think it's most likely the effects on the fogs and the stuff and the lightning stuff. I think what is affecting more the performance here in this area. But yeah, other than that, seems hovering around 60-ish frames. As you can see, I think I can get around and getting a little bit more extra juice out of the performance of the GPU. It's hovering around 95-ish, which usually it's a good sign there. As you can see, it tanks a little bit here on this open area. Again, everything is on ultra. It's a little bit heavy. I think you can tweak around, and then I will do, at least on the second benchmark, do my, at least what I can consider the optimize for my hardware here without any kind of upscaling, and then probably do the upscaling with those optimized settings. Maybe you can get a better notion what kind of performance you can squeeze out of something with my hardware here. Yeah, we're reaching the end here. I think this is the last part. As you can see on the village, because I think there's some NPCs and all the details, like the feathers, the animals and everything. It just tanks just a little bit, but in this kind of scenarios here, which is the movie part of the thing, it goes pretty well. Goes smooth enough for around 70 frames per second or around that. As you can see, an average of 70. It tanks in the middle of the benchmark around to 56, 57. But yeah, other than that, it maintains otherwise a relatively smooth frame rate here. As you can see, we've got the data here. This is with upscaling. In quality mode, so it's rendering 1440p in ultra settings. Let's go to the title menu here, 24,000, which is supposedly very good for them. Again, I think that it's a little bit better, I can tell you. I think I used the similar settings when I did the previous videos for Monster Hunter Wilds. In quality mode, I think I put everything on ultra, and we were getting around very low 50s all around, especially when you enter on the hub. I think it's a little bit better, it seems. But yeah, I'm going to cut off here to show you the settings that I have for 4K native with the hardware that I have, and see if we can reach kind of a similar result there, but just by tweaking a few extra settings there. Okay, let's go through the settings that I put here. So I kept, where is it? Okay, we got borderless window. We only have windowed mode alternatively here. I leave it automatically as it comes. I just did, okay, already losing the last menu. Okay, I custom settings. So from Ultra, I just tweaked down a few settings here and there. Cutscene graphic continues the same. No super resolution. I put a little bit less of render scaling, just a smidge here, so 90% off. In terms of textures, I leave it the best I could, so the highest one. Mesh quality, I turn off a little bit because it's very demanding on the GPU side of things, and I think because we have more movement, I think we will not notice that much, at least that's my perception. For quality, I leave it here as it is. Then we got sky cloud quality, I leave it on medium. Just because from the screenshots you don't see a lot of difference, and I think we'll not notice that much. We are not going to look to the sky constantly. We're going to try and hunt monsters, so that's why I put it around medium. Grass tree quality, I leave it on high because it's something that we're going to interact and get our eyes on a lot. So I try to put it the best I can there. We got still grass tree sway, wind simulation quality high, surface quality, I left it on high. The sand and snow quality, I just put it on high. We don't see a lot of difference regarding the difference here between the quality. So I just tweaked down a little bit. So because we are going to get 4K native, so there's not going to be a noticeable difference between each of the settings here. Then we got the enable water effects, render distance. I leave it on highest because it's more demanding on the CPU and VRAM of the GPU. So my CPU is pretty good handling this. Shadow quality, I just tweaked down a notch there because it's very demanding on the GPU side of things. Shadow quality, I still left it on high. Shadow distance, I left it on far because we are going to try and visualize monsters, and if it might be a little bit odd if you see like a bigger monster or so in the distance and it doesn't have a shadow, but as we come up, the shadows start popping in. It might be a little bit removes a little bit of the immersive side of things. I left ambient light quality medium, mainly because it's very demanding on the GPU side of things also. Contact shadows, I left it enabled because it's a little bit jarring difference between each setting. Ambient occlusion, I left it on medium. You don't see a lot of difference here, and it's a little bit demanding on the GPU side of things. Then I just turn off a little bit the bloom. Just to try and save some space for the processing power of the GPU. I don't like motion blur. It comes default on, and I also remove vignette effect. I left still screen space reflection because it's better for the water reflections. It gives a little bit better look. This screen space separable surface scattering, whatever this setting is, I didn't see a huge difference between, so I just turned off. Depth of field, I left it on, and volumetric fog, I usually turn off. Might be a little bit, again, the scenes themselves don't have a lot of fog, just that you notice the difference. So at the moment, I left it on low, mainly because, again, it's a setting that you can try to squeeze out every kind of performance that you can and getting some good frame rates in the meantime. And then I left variable rate shading balance here, mainly because of the tweak of GPU, even though I don't think it's going to do a huge difference here. But yeah, depends. This one, I think these ones don't have a huge hit on the performance, but it's something that you can save a little bit of performance on the GPU. I think we will try this. So I'm going to do another benchmark here and see how it goes. I think we will get around kindish similar performance to a certain degree, not that far, but starting good. 70ish, which is good, but this is the easy part. Let's see how it tanks on the middle of the benchmark tool. Okay, now it's the part that tanks the most. Got a lot of volumetric stuff there. You can see the shiny lights there. If you don't notice that much difference, again, it tanks a little bit on the 50ish. A lot of effects. There's the lightning effects. Usually it's a little bit heavy on the GPU side of things, so that's why it goes there on the verge of the mid to high 50s, which is not that bad. Okay, here is the worst part. A lot of detail here on vegetation and the animals. It's a little bit, but then again, it's the difference, like I think a couple of frames here and there from the previous benchmark, if not mistaken. Here it creeps up a little bit more on the 70 sides, if not mistaken. Yeah, kind of around that. Okay, almost 24,000. Yeah, 24,000. We got a hit around, if not mistaken, 5 frames maybe but we are doing this on native 4K resolution. Now, we're going here, and what we're trying to achieve here is going for just put upscaling quality mode with the same settings. So see if I don't screw this one up. Upscaling. I'm going to use FSR. This is 3.1.3. Okay. And we leave it on quality mode. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to use the exactly same settings that we did for this 4K native. And we're going to benchmark here. I think we're going to have pretty good results here, I think. Let's see. I'm not noticing that much any kind of quality decay so far. But I don't have the most keen eye for this kind of stuff, so I can be a little bit more forgiving. Okay, now it's the part I'm going to see how well it fares. I think I'm not sure how much more optimized the game can be done, especially on the high vegetation and high density animals. But it seems to maintain itself 60 and above. Let's see. Okay, this part kind of 60 and above, low 60s, but I think it's not that bad. Now it's the part that is going to completely tank the performance here. Okay, a little bit better. High 50s now, didn't dip below 50. Okay. It dipped a little bit, but it was just low 1% part of the thing there. But yeah, it's a little bit better, 70-ish, high 60s, low 70s. It dips when it changes the camera angle. Other than that, it seems a little bit better.
Welcome.
Okay, here is the high 90s area of the thing there. Okay, we got like 3,000 on the score there. I assume it's the frames rendered, if not mistaken. Mainly because the average 80 FPS. I'm not sure how long this this entire the benchmark tool goes for. But yeah, with the same settings that I did native 4K, we did gain around optimized 4K that I did there. We gained around almost 10 FPS on average. Which leads me to think that probably there's going to be hopefully a little bit more optimization on the side of hopefully on the side of vegetation and high density animals there. I think it's where the tanks the most the game there. Other than that, it seems pretty good quality of the game. Visual fidelity and all that jazz. Even with those little tweaks that I did, at least I didn't notice. I already tried before recording at least a handful of times to try and see how the recording software behaves and all that jazz. But yeah, it seems to me that the game is a little bit better, at least the impression that I have, a little bit better from the beta stuff. Again, supposedly this benchmark is up to the snuff with the current status of the game in terms of optimization, and hopefully it will improve even more until the day of the launch. We'll see. Again, this at the time of the recording, the next beta I think started. It will start eventually on my time zone, We are not too far from that. But the optimizations will not be in place on the same way that at least on the benchmark tool is. So in terms of trying to squeeze out every kind of juice out of the PC, so you're going to see a lot of utilization of upscaling technology to reach and maybe tinkering down a little bit more the settings more than I did here on this video to get a good stable frame rate there. Again, I will try to record something out of this new beta stuff and also in the second round. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. There is some progress here, but I think they can squeeze out a little bit more in terms of performance, so we can get a more stable frame rate, especially on open areas when you have a lot of vegetation, because when there is sand and everything, again, if I got the textures up to the max, even in quality, I think I put everything ultra there on the textures, so I didn't see any kind of weirdness even on the upscaler side of things. The only thing that I noticed was a little bit on the fur of the Dashamuga, Dagamusha, or whatever that monster calls, when they fall into the pit. With the upscaler, I noticed a little bit of frizzly kind of a thing, the decaying quality. Other than that, again, I think it behaves pretty well, even not even being FSR4. But yeah, hope this helped. And at least you got a sense with the kind of hardware. Again, it's high-end hardware from my side. But yeah, at least you might have a better notion what kind of settings you might want to tweak a little bit down. So you can don't see a lot of difference or even any kind of difference in terms of the quality, but you can have a little bit more frame rates out of your GPU. But yeah, other than that, I think this is it for this video. Again, pretty good benchmark tool. I hope more developers continue to do this, launching benchmark tools so people have an idea what to expect from the hardware that they have currently, and also more demos. I think it's something that it gives more opening for sales. More than previews from other persons. I think demos lets the customer itself experience firsthand what the product might be, and of course complemented with previews when people can play a little bit more what the demo offers. But at least with the demo, people have a notion what the game can be, and with the complementary information from I don't know, I'm like the influencer, but at least content creators that have early access to previews, more extended previews, can have that kind of complementary information from them. But yeah, I think this game is going to be, if not the game of the year, I think it will be on the run, because I think we will have a good year. 2025 is going to be a good year for gaming. But yeah, I will not bother you anymore. I hope you did enjoy this video. I will try to squeeze out more this kind of videos, trying to explore like the demos and benchmark tools on games that I'm interested. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Hope you have a wonderful day. And until then, Kunamy Master out.